In this video, we're going to create an OIDC connector for Contactzilla so that you can use the Google Workspace Directory users import. So if you head across to Team Settings, you'll find an OIDC tab that highlights all of your existing Team OIDC connectors along with any global ones that we have in the system. You can see we've already got a Google Shared Contacts app set up. However, for the sake of keeping analytics separate and easier management, we're going to create a completely separate one. Now, you could just change the permissions for this one in the Google Developer Console, but we'll create a new one. So if we select Google from here, you'll see it's going to need some details from Google. So if we head across to the Google console, we need to just search Google for Cloud Console or Developer Console, and it will bring you here. And for this, we need to create a new project. So we can click this in the top left-hand corner, New Project. We'll call this Google Directory Users. Keep the organization and location the same and click Create. Now, one thing you need to be careful of is it does take a second just to create that, and you then need to select the project. You can either do so here or up here, otherwise you're working with this project. So I'll click here and then switch to the Directory Users project. So once I've done that, what I need to do is head over to APIs and Services, and I need to enable the Admin SDK. So up in the top, there is a button, Enable APIs. I need to find the Admin SDK, which is currently just listed slightly down the page, but you can search for it. So let's click that and enable. And we're just going to need to get directory users read writes. So once that's enabled, what we need to do is create our credentials and OAuth screen. And the reason for creating a separate app can be seen here. We have a separate set of analytics for this particular API, and it makes sense to separate them out between the import and the export. So if we come across to credentials, we need to configure our consent screen. You can call this something appropriate, but we're just going to call this Contactzilla Directory Users. Select one of the emails available to us. This is going to be an internal project, so we're not going to publish this, so internal's fine, and that avoids having to go through the authentication with Google. Email address, we'll just set support. And then agree to the terms, continue, and create. Now we could proceed to set branding. We don't actually need to do this for this particular instance. So what we need to now do is just create an OAuth client. It's going to be of type web, and we can leave this exactly the same. That's not a problem. Or we can name it something more memorable to us. And we need to just set an authorized redirect URL. So I'm just going to copy that from somewhere that I have to remember this. But it's contactzilla.app, which is the main web app, OAuth to Google callback, and then click Create. What that's going to do is give us a client ID and secret. So I'm going to copy these and move back to Contactzilla and paste these into the relevant boxes. We'll give the connector a label. Google Admin SDK will be fine. And then we need to set redirect and scopes. Redirect will be the same as the one that we set previously. So let's just copy that again and paste that into the redirect. And we'll come on to the scope in a second. So that's created the web client. Now what we need to do is come across to data access. And we need to give it access to a particular scope in the Admin SDK. So it will appear in sensitive scopes. So we're going to click Add here. This is quite a long list of the scopes available for the Admin SDK. So we're just going to search for the word user up here. and you will see this one here, admin directory user read only. We're going to select that, and that will give us the one here. We have to tick that and then click update, and then you will see it pulls across the scope into here. So what we need to do is also apply that scope on the Contactzilla side, and it's slightly different on the Contactzilla side. It's actually a URL that I've got saved. So I'm just going to copy that and paste that into the scope box. And you can find these on Google by just Googling for Admin SDK scopes, and you'll be able to find the different scopes, but this is the one that the importer needs. That's everything we need to create the connector. So we're going to click create. And you can see now that we've got a team-based OpenID connector. So if I come into view connections, you'll see I haven't got any connections currently. And if I click on it, was to click on import and create one, it would show me that I don't have any also. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click connect here. And it's now going to go through the flow. You can see it's got the name of this app that we've created. And obviously, if we had applied some branding, it would also have that here. I'm going to click my account. It's going to tell me what it wants from me. And then if I click continue, it's also going to give me a breakdown of the scopes that it's got set. And then I'm going to allow that. And then you can see it's connected to Google. Now, when we come across to import Google Workspace Directory users, import, we can now see we have that connection available to us. At that point, we can click continue. We don't need to set a customer ID. We're just going to pull back the main directory users. We're going to run it manually and full refresh, and we're going to tell it to sync immediately. So at that point, we click continue, and it's going to proceed to create a import connection that will then start pulling in the contacts. Obviously, if we wanted that to occur on a scheduled basis, then we would select that when we were setting it up. And that's all you need to actually create the import. We will do another video that shows the actual import mapping process. But thanks for watching.